Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call to order. First is public input. Any emails or anybody from the public wish to address the board?
There was no emails.
Wants to address the board? Anything to say? All right, next is administrative matters. First is the approval of park board minutes. Everybody gets to look at it.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is the confirmation of voucher register.
Robin, can you use the microphone, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? All
No.
right. All right.
No, I don't.
Okay, confirmation of vouchers. Any discussion on that? Any questions? Everybody get a chance to look at it?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next is the February board report.
Yes, I will run through a few things and answer any questions you may have. Centennial Park parking is on schedule for this coming year. The registration for residents will begin March 1st on the website, the same website as last year.
Can I ask you a quick question on that? What, I've been getting a few questions about that. Are we ever going to get to the point where your registration is not an annual thing? Or is it going to continue to be annual?
I would expect it to be an annual thing because people move and not having and vehicles change, plates change, and things like that. I would expect it to be an annual.
It looks like you're automating it. So that-
We are this year. The ASTA is working with, they've implemented, they're going to compare resident information that's submitted against state BNV records. So hopefully that'll save us from having to go through and verify every single individual resident. There will still be ones that come through to us that maybe don't add up. Maybe a spouse's last name is different than the other spouse whose car is registered at it. But so there's some verification that we may still have to do, but hopefully it'll be a lot less than what we had to do last year.
The second question on that is about the income from that. Did we receive a year end on that? We were supposed to get one out of the call. Was in a previous.
I don't recall if we saw a grand total number. I'd have to look back in my notes and see if we reported that. I thought we did in,
Progress.
I want to say November there, but I thought we.
I remember a progress one. Yes.
Yeah.
I just was looking for a year end one.
Final.
I thought we did. I don't have those numbers with me though right now, so I can forward those out. We'll report those next month. The council is going through a process to amend the town's towing ordinance to allow us to have a different towing company. The 4 towing companies that they currently have did not and were not interested in doing the type of towing that this is considered. It's more of a repo tow, if you will. So we will, I think they passed the first reading of that at their meeting last night, and there will be a second reading of that coming up. After that is done, we will bring likely next month's meeting a contract to award it to a different company for that, which was the only company that responded to that RFP that we put out this last fall. But the town's attorney, Nicole Bennett, is working on that part of the project because of the towing and the ordinance requirements that are needed. The season is starting April 1st, and Public Works is going to have their message boards out there a couple weeks ahead of that to inform everyone that it's coming. So just kind of get the word out again as well about that information. Centennial Park golf buildings, we'll talk about that later on the agenda today. 2023 athletic field permits have all been sent out to our local community groups. The community park pool parking lot, we had planned and listed that as a goal to repave that this year. After getting updated budget figures from Jill DiTomaso, our deputy town manager engineer, we're going to need to budget more funds for that, so that'll end up being pushed into the future.
I thought a part of the agreement with community hospitals that we would share O&M.
We would.
And
that's
still-
included, yeah, this is almost, by the time you do the full parking lot and the south end of Lions Club Drive, it's about a $500,000 project. We only budgeted about $175,000.
For milling it and just.
For milling resurface, and the Lions Club Drive, it would actually add a curb where the curb ends just west of the pool at that curve over there right now. We would curve that road because from her evaluation of it, just driving through without that curb to hold it, that's what's causing a lot of the breakdown of the road. But right now, I think it'll survive another year, so I think we'll be able to get by with that, so. There's a historical railroad marker along the Pennsy, right along the Centennial Park. That's more than 150 years old. That's kind of hidden in the brush alongside the railroad. We went out there, looked at it, and we're going to look at bringing some attention to it by kind of paving a little concrete area around that. So hopefully that'll happen in the next few months. Maybe we also have some railroad fans out there working on some information so we could potentially put a kiosk, the information kiosk here as well to kind of describe what this is. It has the mile marker 286, which indicates it's 286 miles from Columbus, Ohio. 500 so far. So, Centennial Park Capital Committee met for the first time from the council. Well, you guys know Robin and Scott were appointed from this board. The council had Councilors Gardner and Ken Schoon were the council participants. We met February 13th and will continue to meet. I think what we probably need to do at our level here at the park board is look to schedule a study session where we talk about capital improvements that we desire out of the park and then defer to them, kind of refer to that committee to find that funding mechanisms to pay for those improvements. So I'll circulate and try to get something scheduled if that's okay with you, to look as far as more of a work study session, if you will, to have that kind of discussion at the park board level along with some of our staff to discuss the future capital improvements out of Centennial Park. The repair and replacement schedule you asked about last month, Mike, we did have that. We're working on updating that. We'll bring a updated one to us at your next meeting. The winter spring recreation guide is out, registration's ongoing. Our vendor applications were recreated and emailed for all of our events throughout the year. We have those and that registration has begun. Our pool management and the head guards have been hired for the coming year. So now the next step is moving forward with admissions, employees, lifeguards, swim instructors. Anyone willing to apply for that should be applying at this time of year. And hopefully we'll have all of our positions at the pool hired for this coming summer within the next month or two. Daddy-daughter date night brought in over 200 fathers and daughters. That was held over at the middle school. So that was back to kind of more pre-COVID participation numbers. So that was good to see for us. Into our park maintenance side of things, Kevin's crew assembled 20 new picnic tables, just kind of constant replacement of those from year to year. That's typically a winter type of project. We included some new ones in front of the social center out on the patio out there as well to replace the aged ones that we have there. 2 new social center signs were also installed on the east and the west side of the social center building itself as well, which match our park signs that are out in all parks. Out at Sunnyside Park, we have some small boulders being put in along the alley. This has been a long complaint from some of the neighbors and the residents there, of people pulling into the alley and just pulling onto the grass of the park there. This will prevent that. So we're about halfway done out there, as those boulders are acquired by us. Typically, we've got them donated to us from different contractors as they found them or had them in their yards. So we've been able to do it as we had the time to permit it to allow us to get them moved out there and replace them. The Kevin over at the Public Works Department, where our maintenance office is at, they did some updating with painting and putting in a new floor in the office and break room, including they replaced the carpeting, which was about 4 years old out there. So I'm glad that they were able to get to that this winter as well. Out at Centennial Park, irrigation lines were located for where the new pro shop and golf buildings are going to be built. The Dave Servant recognition sign was installed on hole number 1. The walking paths continue to be swept with a rotary broom to remove goose droppings out there, which is always a challenge, especially during their commute seasons, I guess as I'll call them. And then for Centennial Golf, the golf season has begun with some warmer temps this month, but the month of January was pretty dead out there. No golf, but we did have maintenance continuing on all the sheet rates as they do during the winter months. So that's it for me on the reports, unless you have any other questions or anything else.
Any questions? All right, up next is items for discussion and action. Centennial Park Golf Annual Report.
Madam President, I'll invite Caleb up to the Warner from the golf course to step up and he's going to present their annual report.
Hi, Caleb.
Good evening, how are you? Sorry, a little nervous doing this, first time doing this.
Don't be nervous in front of us.
All right, on the golf side, we're gonna kind of compare apples to apples before COVID started. So we're gonna compare 2019 to 2022. I don't know if you see it there yet. 2019, we had 19,868 golf rounds. In 2022, we did decline, went down to 13,766. Reason for that is, as you guys know, it was COVID year. So Centennial Park was kind of popular back in 2021 because we was one of the golf courses that wasn't doing like a single golf riding thing. Illinois golf courses were kind of closed still, doing walkers only. I'll get into the golf revenue. 2019, we was at $129,239. Last year, we was at $187,541 in the green fees. The car fees, we was still at $60,913. And the range revenue went down as well. I observed this year, those reasons, early in the year, what was that, late year of June, I think, we started to pay the park situation. Some people thought that was kind of an inconvenience for them. You know, some of the senior citizens, they don't know how to really do the technology thing like that, scan the little barcode we had. So some people just went to a bar or something like that. It was more convenient for them not to do that kind of thing. Another reason why we lost kind of our green fees, our women golfers. We lost about 60 on our Monday league and about 25 on our Wednesday league. We had no bathroom on the inside. So ladies don't like using public, the porta potty. So that is a no-no for the ladies. We went to 82 memberships sold this year. Last year before that, we had 102. Again, some of them were ladies, so no bathroom. We did have a couple members this year pass away, unfortunately.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt that, but on your observations, so the pay for parking thing, is there anything that you can recommend to help with that issue?
Sure. So our marketing team this year, we are going to work on trying to market it better on the website. We're trying to figure out a better system in the pro shop for our normal golfers that come back every week. That way we can take care of their parking thing for them. Never really have to worry about it. So we're working on it right now.
All right, thank you.
No problem. I'll get to the community engagement. This year we was requested to host it's called the Under Armour Golf Tournament, hosted by Jordan Spieth, professional golfer. This event, we had over 50 participants this year for different age groups. Also this year, Indigo Sports, we gave back to the community, all the parks, employees, town employees. We did about 140 rounds of employee rounds. And then I give them range tokens. I did about $800 in range tokens this year for them. Just working around the town and helping me out, stuff like that. So now we're gonna get into the concession stand, which we did an amazing job this year. You guys know last year was kind of a rough year, back 2019. We did $130,000. 2022, we did about $168,565. We did change some things on the menu this year. We had chicken wings and French fries, which kind of sold out really, really quickly. There were some complaints we had during the year about supplies. We was always running out. It was just so hard to keep up with what we had, 'cause it was always selling out in there. We would sell out about 4 PM. I had to make the decision to stop selling something and keep it for the next day until we had more supplies for our next shipment. But,
So knowing those figures now, so planning for 2023 baseball and softball seasons, you're going to adjust for that?
yeah, so this year, last year was my first year kind of ordering for the concession stand, so I didn't know exactly how much business we was gonna have. So this year, I'm gonna probably plan for just an order for about 2 weeks, order enough for at least 2 weeks. With that, on my side, that's it for me. I'll bring up Dan Audell, which is the superintendent.
Hello, yeah, we had a pretty good year out on the golf course. We did have, the biggest, hardest part this year, and Kevin will say the same thing, everything costs a lot more. So supply chain, you can blame that, it's true. Gas is up $1.25 a gallon. So that, I can't read it, you know, but it's like $3 grand more we had to pay for fuel in one season. I didn't anticipate that. We matched some numbers on wages to keep competitive for my crew. We're still below Illinois by a couple bucks, but I did have a pretty good crew. The year was good. We did have we had a long drought in the middle of the year, and our course takes a toll on it. But the crew was good. We kept it watered well. We did get some new equipment. Thank you. There was a couple things. We got a new rough mower that's pulled by a tractor, and that worked well. That's the one picture. And the biggest thing for me was that green box there. We got 5 new ones. We had replaced one a year for 4 years. That box is now becoming obsolete. You can't get parts for it. So we at some point every year we were having to buy parts, and they're like minimum of $400 per item. So with that and with a new computer, I'm catching up to the other golf courses. We have a new computer. My computer was the original one from 2008. So it was making funky noises. So that's all I can say. But it's a new program. I'm still learning it. And at some point, I'll be able to hook it up to my phone, and I could turn it on from California. It'd be kind of cool. That'll be a big help. Other than that, I've been planning for this. Hopefully, we get this pro shop and car part up on the hill. We do have to move some pipes, so that's all been marked. I need to get a couple more quotes. I got the first one to move a pipe. This is the new thing. I've been working on it for a while. This Audubon project, this community involvement. I have a teacher from the high school. He's been taking an inventory of this stuff. So that first little picture is a disco. I don't know if I said it right. It's a rare bird for the area. So he doesn't want me to cut any of the wild areas, but that's not an option because we're on landfill. So you have to at least cut it once a year. So I said wait till as long as you can. The monarchs are making a little bit of a comeback. That's the middle picture. They feed on that, that's called milkweed. And the other one is, we have deer every year. So. But he takes an inventory of all the animal life. And I'm working on a project, and hopefully I can get it done this summer. And we'll be recognized as a certified Audubon sanctuary. It's a program for golf courses. So I might try to get another girl to do some more birdhouses. We'll see. I had one a couple of years ago. I think I talked about it a couple of years ago. And every year, every box has nests in it. So on that, do you have any questions?
And any thoughts on not having golf carts out this early in the season?
The amount of damage I see is minimal, and the extra $10, it does add up. We only, if it's too wet, we will say path only, so that's how we, whatever I tell them, they do one worse, so you gotta be careful with that, yeah.
Well, you can say car pass only, but as soon as they get away over the top of the hill, they're
Yeah,
gonna
this
do
is-
whatever they're gonna do.
If he doesn't have a ranger some of the summer, you definitely don't have one in February, so. I'm out there almost every day when it starts, I monitor it, but the amount of the guys that play, they're pretty good. If it was really a problem, I would say walkers only.
I'd like to ask a question of Caleb. I'm so sorry. I thought about this after you were done speaking. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
You did a great job, Caleb, by the way. I'm a new board member, so I understand being nervous. My question is, I know you mentioned about the concession stands and running out of food.
Mhm.
I have 4 kids. We play sports at the field. So one of the other complaints I've heard, which I just want to share with you in case you weren't aware of it, is that the concession stands are open for the baseball games, but not all of the softball games. And there's many a night where there's softball games going on all evening and there is no concession stand. So I don't know how we address that, or if it's just a matter of money for staff time versus bang for your buck if softball and baseball is going, but if you could maybe think about that too, going forward, ensuring that we have the schedules and we have a reason for why it's not open for the girls only. I think that's a big concern I hear a lot about from parents.
Okay.
Thank
Well, I'll
you.
make sure that happens.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions? You did a good job.
Very good.
Thank you, Caleb. Yes.
Next up is the Centennial Park building update.
All right. I'm gonna have Tom step up here and I don't know, Mac, if you want to the mic, I'm gonna pull up some renderings that they've sent to us. You have some copies of the site plan and the building layouts as a work in progress, but we wanted to give you an up-to-date kind of where we're at with the plans for the golf buildings out at Centennial Park. So our intentions are to get the design here finalized pretty soon and get them out for bid in April, with hopefully making them due in early May and bringing the potential at the May Park Board meeting where we could potentially award the contractor, which would probably put us on schedule for shovel hitting dirt in June.
That'd be great.
And then you figure about a year of construction. So that's kind of what we're shooting for as far as we do everything. But well, and who knows with supply chain issues? I mean, that's the big unknown. And who knows where the bids are gonna come in? I mean, that's also an unknown. That's assuming they come in kind of what we're hoping and anticipating for. But yeah, that's the schedule. So we wanted to bring you some of the ideas. The prettier pictures are on the screen, and we can kind of run through them, and Tom and Matt can kind of fill in as we look at them. But just to give you the layout, the first one that you're looking at is looking from the parking lot up to the existing building. The one that faces you, the little red triangle at the top of the walking path, is the existing golf shanty, as we call it. So to the right would be the cart storage barn. That would be over by the driving range. And then to the left there, you see the pro shop building, which would house registering, paying for greens fees, your little bit of a concession stand, the pro shop office, and the storage that they need for those types of facilities there. Kind of a zoom in of that. Here is looking, that's the pro shop building to the left, looking out going towards the golf carts or towards the golf course. And you'd see where their staging of golf carts would be in that area. To the right, again, the machine, that's the existing, the first building to the right is your existing golf shanty. The second one there into the distance is a shelter, which would be kind of the little place that that's the makeup of what we currently have outside the pro shop now, the patio area there, if you will. We have a little bit of room on the front of the pro shop for a couple of tables there as a little bit of an overhang, but the shelter area would give that a little bit further there. This also shows we talked about making sure we can secure this area at night when the golf course is closed. So this shows the idea of gating that off During the golf day, they'd be open as they are shown in this picture. Obviously, at the end of the night, this would be where we'd be closing those gates. But yet, the potential could be allowing the access to the pro shop. If, let's say, Christmas time when the golf course is closed, but we're still selling gift certificates, people could get into the gift shop or to the pro shop to buy those and not have to worry about people just walking out and playing on the course. This is the golf cart storage barn with the overhang over at the driving range. So you can see that there. It's not the entire length of the tee boxes. We roughly estimated 10 green mats, I think, or is it 8? I think it's 2 in each. I think it's 2 in each, between each set of posts there. We asked the elevation of that roof line. Are we at 12 feet?
In middle, yeah.
Yeah, so I think by the time you swing, you're taller, and so your club's not hitting the roof as you swing. You need to have that clearance potential available there for us. Some of these are in and out of order, but that's the pro shop, a little just of a zoom in, looking up towards the golf shanty building there. Here's that shelter that's just passed between just south of the pro shop, again, going towards the entrance of the golf course area. Same thing on the shelter there. Just a small enough where you can have the potential, if they have outings, like Caleb mentioned about that Under Armour event, this would be a place that they could be meeting, announcements, handouts, things along those lines. This is with your back to the golf course, looking back at the way that you came in. So this would be the pro shop to the right, the shelter to the left, and the golf shanty in the distance there. And then way out in the distance is the driving range and the golf cart storage. Going into the pro shop. This is actually up at the golf cart by the driving range, looking back. Parking lot. Some of these are a little repetitive here. So one of the questions that we've had is the roof line that we talk about, the overhang off of the cart storage, and I'm gonna kick you guys to talk about the difference of that. I can run back to that other picture.
Yeah, I'm Tom Coon, and this is Matt Pearson. He's a locally grown Ball State Wizard. He's created all this magic here that I can't do, so I'll let him talk.
I guess we can start on this one then. Mainly the idea for this option was to represent what was already there from the original clubhouse. Mainly just being the building as the main focus with the, I guess we would do 12 by 16, the giant roof slope, to kind of give it that same aesthetics, with like the overhang being a dome type idea attached to that. And then basically the other option, which was the last one, was basically in essence a smaller slope, a little bit more price efficient, I suppose. But the idea was the building and the driving range area would be one. That's the essence, the design idea.
Do you think for consistency, they should probably match? Like,
What's that?
don't you think for consistency, the slope should probably match?
Yeah, the pitches of the roofs, yeah, that's what we're trying to mimic, the building that's already up there and the original banquet pro shop facility.
So that one does have, you see, that's where you have the main A-frame, if you will, of the cart storage, and then that other part as a lean-to, if you will, or a dormer, if you will, becoming that part. I don't know if it's not really visible that further out into the park, right? I mean, when you're down on the hill, you don't even see the driving range. I mean, you would see the peak of the building and it would match the existing clubhouse as it is. But and this would be a least expensive, a lower expensive option, or
This one would be a little bit more than the other
this is
one.
more expensive. than
Yeah.
the other
We
one.
like the less expensive one.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
So the least expensive one is this option.
Right.
Kind of look.
Yep.
So that would be
Little bit simpler.
more choice. You guys have a feel. of one
Still
or the
looks
other?
good. I mean, it still looks good.
I mean, I'm assuming the thought process is you would have heated teeth there, right?
If you want,
You're gonna put heated teeth. You're not gonna cover it for no reason, because
you can if you want.
if it's raining, you shouldn't be out the driving range.
Well, with the cover, you can hit in the
In the rain.
rain, you can hit in the real windy days. I think the bigger thing is you're gonna have a wind.
No one's
block.
gonna hit in the rain. So you get out of their house. I golf a lot, and I would hit in the rain. Here's my question, bidding this out, whichever one we choose. I think, could you make that an alternate, that add-on part for the driving range? And also, if you flip back a couple pictures, which is, you went the other way. Go. All right, so one more. Nope. There. For that shelter, we could also make that an alternate too, because as Mike and I were talking behind everyone back here, we may not be able to afford all this stuff, but if we could find out what the price is, well, then we'll just, the general consensus is we need some place where Indigo can function, they can run a pro shop out of, they can monitor, we need to store the golf carts. After that, so this is cool stuff, because you're a Ball State grad, and I appreciate that.
I am
So-
so.
That's why I like the chirp, so, but I just think from a financial standpoint, that may be $500,000, and if we don't have it,
I agree.
It
We
could
don't
be,
have it.
but it could be in a planning structure to be done in subsequent years. And so I do like the idea of that for exactly the outings and things like that, because those are money
Mm-hmm.
generators. But we have to plan for that, as Ian said, in an alternate.
Yeah, we can
fashion.
dice it up all you want.
yeah, so if it's an alternate, we go, hey, look, it works, or if not, we just leave it a green space.
Yeah.
People can rent tents, they can do it for the time being, and then we ultimately have it designed, so if we
We
want
can
to add
plan
on.
that in 2024.
That will be, they'll dedicate that to you when you retire, just like Servant's got the first hole, you're gonna get the shelter.
But when it comes to, the tee, but, the golf court storage building, I would make a decision if you want it covered or not, because that's gonna be a drastic revision to the building and the look.
For the driving range
Yeah,
part,
if you do the steep roof with the appendage on it, that would be easy to separate. But the building that is all one,
I like that one.
I do.
that's cool looking, I agree. But you could do the canopy covered golf or covered tee boxes as an alternate. Yeah, you could do that. Not a problem.
And I think it's
It'd be
low
easier.
enough down that you could throw the heaters up there if you wanted to do it.
Yep.
Don't do it in the rain. Mark, we're gonna disagree.
You have a wet bar out there.
We're not gonna bring enough revenue to pay for the electric rooms.
You watch, you build it, they will come.
At $5 a bucket of balls, it's not,
Yeah, that'll be 7.
so now we
All
gotta change the price on cold days.
Throw an ordinance up here, we'll be right on it.
I neglected earlier to say in when they had the joint discussion between the capital involvement committee, that the information from the clerk's office and those involved with that felt like this initial $4 million phase, which was our original estimate on all of this, they felt comfortable that that money is there. So that is available to us. So I just wanted to share that. with
And I'll
you.
say this is, if I'm reading the plans correctly, this is more than what I thought was coming to us to begin with, where it looks like there was some tables area inside of an area where you could eat. We call it the 10th hole because we don't have anything else.
Well, the tables isn't, that is a concept that Caleb floated to me.
Right.
And he asked, and it was kind of this time of year, hey, can we fit any tables in there in the dead of winter? And so we had them lay that out, give
I
us an
like
option to bring.
Yeah, we can fit it that way, Dan, and just have a grocery list of what you can afford and what you want.
On a regular standpoint, on a regular year, where those tables are inside the pro shop, that's the store, that's the retail.
Right, yeah,
part.
yeah.
So it's only when gonna be like probably December, January, and maybe.
So do we have to make a choice on steep or?
Well, I think they're looking for direction, if there's a
Let's take
preference on the roof line.
What's cool? Yeah, I like that one personally. That's my vote. Whatever it's worth,
I do too.
I think it's more interesting architecturally. And it's right up there on top.
no one's gonna,
And of course, you can see in all these buildings, we are trying to make them look like the existing clubhouse and the golf shanty. This has all been designed to kind of match that between the color scheme, the brick at the beginning,
Make it
some of the
like-
exposed wood that's there, yeah. So you have a lot of that same look.
Because otherwise it kind of looks like a pole barn, like just a barn up there for storage if you don't do something. with it.
Well, and that's something else. that
There you
we-
go. Pull all the golf carts out, have a wedding. in there.
No way.
We have talked about that overhang though, for certain outings, if they're big enough, that could be set up with tables under there. I mean, and that could become an area that you could have your post-golf luncheon.
Or Kevin could store stuff there in the winter time.
Absolutely. So, going through the rest of these, just kind of giving you some different perspectives as we go through all of these. One of the neat things is the walking path, if you've gone up the hill, up the stairs to the top of the hill, as you go towards the golf, right now, you literally are on the asphalt path where you could potentially get the backswing of the golfer.
Yeah.
It taking you out. So in this plan, we've run the path coming back from the top of the stairs to go behind the cart stores. So that'd be where those people are walking. And then you see the tees are here off to the right. So that I think that's a nice safety feature to be able to do since we're doing some other, doing this work up there on the site.
Does it make sense logistically to have separate structures? I'm only asking.
Well,
because
there's
I don't-
a big hill. I think it's still there.
I don't think they have enough footprint there to do them all together.
I think you're right, yeah.
So it's sort of a campus
No,
setting. No, I get it.
From a, you go and check in, you gotta get a card, then you gotta go, so I'm just asking.
I think from a management standpoint, they would like it all together, but I think logistically, this is pretty good, and they keep an eye on who's
We
coming up
probably
on
have the
that.
carts.
Well, what happens now though, keep in mind, we store the,
golf on the way.
What's that?
Golf on the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, they hear. Oh, yeah.
well, they've been involved in the process along the way here, but again, the cart storage is, the customer's not going into the barn to get it. We're bringing them to where they're shown here. This is where a golfer, so you're gonna go into the building, pay for your greens fee, you're gonna go right outside, pick up your car and go into the course.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, and it's kind of what we do now. We store them downstairs in the basement, we pull them out every day and set them up in that area just so as you walk into the pro shop there, the staging area.
Got it.
But I mean, as far as input from you, Andrew, as far as operations of this, I mean, you feel better with this layout, the control and things along those lines?
Yeah, that would be perfectly fine. I think that's great, because I know, yeah, of course, it would be great if everything was all together, but the footprint up there, there's no way you can put all that together with the hills and everything up there.
And we even-
But that would be perfectly fine.
We even flipped the building so that you have better visual control over.
I like it. I like it.
So one of the other things that's restricting us too is right, just past these buildings, going to the east of these buildings is a line of demarcation, which is an old landfill versus the capped landfill. We cannot do anything, we cannot build anything on the old landfill area.
Squeezing it in.
We're squeezing it in between. And the other area is just at the other end of the driving range. So we're kind of got to be in between those 2 points there.
And methane lines.
Right.
The only thing I'd add was just a bit up to do the separate or the
Yeah.
alternates. And after that, I think it looks great. Even the cardinal red.
The, as you mentioned on the papers that I gave you, it does show that we wanted to see how many people we could sit at, under the shelter. This would fit 48 seats on the 6 tables that are there, 2 people on each side of each of those tables. Those are the same kind of tables that are out back at town hall here. They're a square table with, benches on all 4 sides there. And then as far as inside the pro shop, I mentioned with the table layout, that was just, again, a concept there to say, hey, how many, if we cleared out the retail store, how many people, could we have somebody's birthday party in December or a Christmas party and have it there and allow them to bring in some additional revenue. So I mean, I appreciate that Indigo is always on the lookout, trying to figure out other ways to bring in some additional revenue over the course of the year. So that would be, that's why they're shown in there. But basically those, inside the pro shop, that would become the retail section. It provides them the prep area for their concessions. It has a little counter area, an office, a storage room, an HVAC room. That's basically what's in that building.
And ladies' restrooms.
It actually has 3 unisex washrooms. And I think that in current modern day times, that's the trend that we need to go to. Because of just, and it allows for that flexibility, but indoor washrooms are definitely a plus by all golfers. They like to have that, so, especially the ladies. Anything else that I missed from your guys'
I gotta hit a school board meeting.
No problem. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
So we'll bring back a more of an update next month. Tom, how far away are we on, finishing design, you think, by next month's meeting?
Well, now that we've made some decisions, I think 6, 8 weeks, we should be okay.
Okay, to be able to get that out.
It's gonna be a push, but we'll
Okay.
have all this. We'll take care of it.
So no action necessary on any of this, just wanted to kind of bring it to you as an update today at your meeting to let you know what's happening in our plans.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, what's good, guys? All right, up next is the pool concession patio expansion.
Yes, this is the, previously it authorized us to seek proposals for the expansion of the pool concession area. We had 4 proposals received. The proposals are all within the budget amount from our 2022 TO bond. And we are recommending the awarding the expansion of the pool concession patio to Gary Construction Company at a cost of $79,700. And I would ask you to authorize me to sign the necessary contract as part of your motion.
Who's watching over this? I'm sorry. Sorry.
We will with Jill DiTomaso's assistance as our.
And the reason I'm asking is with it being so close in the margins at less than 2,000, what I don't want is it's 79,700, then there's 5 change orders and it becomes $107,500. And then they're no longer the lowest bidder. So if it's lump sum, it's lump sum. If there's a quantity change, but I don't want it to become change order heaven, which.
Yeah, it is a lump sum project, so that's how we
That's
quoted it out, so. The anticipation would be to have none.
I understand what the anticipation is.
Construction happens, I mean, hopefully we don't have any, and we think that we won't, I mean, it's a small enough footprint and a little bit of a separated project there, but I can make that guarantee that it's probably not, shouldn't be in this position.
Any questions, guys?
No, it was answered by
Oh, sorry.
combination of things.
Then I will make the motion to award it to Gary and allow you to sign any documentation needed to move forward.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next. All right, next up is the pool picnic table purchase.
So with the anticipated award of what you just approved, we sought pricing for picnic tables for this expanded area. We received 3 proposals for that. These are above the authorized dollar amount that I can authorize as a staff person. So we have to bring them to you for award, if you will. So we are recommending to purchase 20 picnic tables for this new area from Pilot Rock RJ Thomas Manufacturing Company for $22,240. These would be paid for from previous park bond issued balances. So for $22,240 for that purchase.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. You have a question?
Cool question, but
Go ahead before we move on.
cool question, but it's not about picnic tables.
Well, just ask your
You can
question.
ask that. Okay, it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to know, I've been thinking a lot about some of the things that happened with the pool. And one of the items that we talked about last year, and Jill might know the answer to this, but have we considered buying like bathing suits and things like that to sort of alleviate some of this stuff, situations?
We were still looking into trying to find something that's affordable enough because I think so far what we found, nothing, I don't know if people are willing to pay more than $20 to get something. It took for us to buy them in the bulk. So we were looking at, and then the other challenge is obviously sizing them all, having the right sizes there. And I think that's going to be the challenge in storing them. But yeah, if we could find something that in my mind, I would like us to, at least for us, be only paying 10 to 15.
Yeah.
And then maybe, sell them for a few dollars more than that to make it worth it. But that was something that we're still looking at.
Just thinking a lot about this pool problem, and I'm trying to come up with ideas. So.
Oh, it's constant in our eyes.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
All right, up next is community park storage building replacement.
The current storage building just south of the Community Park Social Center was identified for replacement. This is something that we saw proposals from contractors performing that type of work. This is the old warming shelter building, just south of the social center, northwest of the skate park there, a little wooden structure there. Proposals include the demolition of the current structure, construction of the new replacement building, including the concrete base flooring out there. We had 4 proposals, and they were all within our budgeted amount from the 2022 GO bond for this project. And we are recommending the award to K&K Builders Incorporated, which is from Munster, at a cost of $43,229, and authorize the director to sign the necessary documents.
Any questions?
I motion to approve. Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
One is, yeah. Okay, up next is adjournment.
Oh, well, make a motion to adjourn.
I
I
would-
want to abstain from that. I'm supposed to read this up.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next meeting is March 21st at 5 o'clock.